My name is Joseph Mbaiwa. I come from University of Botswana. So I want to talk to you about residents' perceptions towards elephants in Botswana and what can be done when it comes to these perceptions, especially when you are looking at increasing the value of elephants to the people of Botswana. This is a small presentation, which is a result of some work that we did in the country a few months ago. Maybe I should just give you a background of what happened. We were requested by the Botswana government to come up with a human conflict strategy and action plan for the country. And this strategy and action plan involved traveling around the country, collecting information. It also involved reading a lot of literature in Botswana and outside Botswana on issues of human-wildlife conflict. I know some people don't call it conflict, they call it interactions. But I will use the term that was used by the Botswana government to describe those interactions. So we read a lot in terms of books, literature, all over the world when it comes to how to manage those conflicts or interactions. And one of the things that we did was that we assembled a team of about 12 or so specialists in different areas, and I was the team leader of that group. We went to, or we addressed 62 public meetings. There's what we call Khota meetings in Botswana. A Khota meeting is a public meeting place where the villagers come, they gather, and you talk to them about whatever topic you're coming to them with. And they say their views, they voice, they just speak, some even to the extent of fighting. So at the Khota meeting or at that public meeting, everyone is allowed to say whatever they want to say. So we had about 62 Khota meetings countrywide, which were attended by almost 6,000 people. And almost, I think, 52% of the people who attended the meetings were women. We had informal interviews with all stakeholders, that is the private sector, the tourism sector, government officials. We talked to a lot of people. So now, I'm just going to be summarizing some of the key findings. I was going to show you percentages and even come up with statements. It's a qualitative kind of information study. You must demonstrate that by coming up with quotations of what people said. But I was only allowed 5 slides. So, so I could not express those in detail, but if you want some of those, I can always give them to you. So one of the things that came out clearly was that there was this CASA report which talked of the elephant population in Botswana. There's what you call the CASA part of Botswana, that is mostly northern Botswana. The CASA report noted that there are 227,000 elephants in the region. The CASA region includes Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia, and Angola. So those are the 5 countries which actually make what we call the CASA, or the CASA region. So the study said of the 227,000 elephants, 58% of them are found in Botswana, or they live in Botswana. And then if you look back at what was the population in 1984, the population in Botswana in 1984 of elephants was estimated to be 40,000 by then. But currently, we have almost 132,000 elephants in the CASA region alone. But we have other 3/4 of the country which are not part of the CASA, and there are elephants in those in those areas as well. So we are talking of elephants in Botswana in almost all parts of the country. So when it comes to the people's perceptions, especially in the Kota meetings that we addressed, the perceptions were a bit different. There is a small population that is involved in community-based tourism projects, that is the CBNRM program. In relation to those, the perceptions were very much ambivalent. This is to say, yes, they are saying we should conserve the elephants, they love the elephants, but yet there was another group which was saying, even though we love these elephants, we need to reduce the population because it is too much. They're all over. That is when you talk to communities involved in CBNRM projects. And then there are the agro-pastoralists, that is those involved in crop farming and those involved in livestock farming. Most of them were simply saying, these animals are all over. Take your elephants with you when you leave this Kota meeting. They were not happy with the elephants because they're all over. Simply because what elephants do is that they destroy crops in their crop fields. They destroy livestock infrastructure like boreholes and the like. They kill people and the like. There's just some graphs which shows you the extent of elephant damage in some of the areas that we visited. You look at the graph there. I don't know whether this pointer can work. Yeah, you can see that elephants account for most of the crop damages in most parts of the country. If at all I had another map, I'll show you the map that shows the extent of damage in each of the villages that we visited. And then you look at this slide again, elephants are actually leading when it comes to injuries and deaths, killing people. Many times when you talk of elephants, people will tell you, especially in Europe and in the developed world, they simply want us to talk about elephants and they never talk about the deaths and injuries. How many people have been killed by this elephant? They don't want to talk about this one. They want to talk about save the African elephant. And then, well, what I want to say here is that while elephants are very good, or we appreciate the elephants in Botswana, tourism is the second largest economic sector in Botswana. For a very long time, what has been happening is that we only focused on photographic tourism and trophy hunting in Botswana. That is the use of elephants. Now, with all these human-wildlife conflicts where the perceptions are mostly negative, especially of communities without tourism products, maybe what we need to do is to diversify the elephant product, look into the entire chain to say we need to do something when it comes to the numbers of elephants. We need to do something. Some people don't want to use the word culling. They want to use the word removal. Whatever term you use, we need to do something. This is to say, we now need to look into other products where we can benefit from elephants. I'm told I have 1 minute left. So these are some of the things that we can look at. We need to identify markets for elephants. We need to, one of the things which communities actually recommended in the areas that we visited was that why don't we have an abattoir of elephants in areas where we have a lot of these elephants to reduce the numbers. And when you have an abattoir, you will get the meat, you will sell it within the country and in the region, you will sell that meat there. That's what they were saying. But I know South Africa tried to have an abattoir, I think, at Kruger National Park, and it was closed down. I suppose it was because of the pressure, especially from the animal rights group. But when you live in, let's say, Cape Town, you enjoy the atmosphere in Cape Town or Johannesburg, you are completely different from somebody who is living in a wildlife area where their subsistence life depends on crop farming, livestock farming and they experience the damage of all these elephants. When you are living in Cape Town, you are living in Stellenbosch, it's nice, it's okay. You can stand up and say, do nothing to the elephants. But when you are in that environment, you will understand the need to reduce the numbers that I'm talking about. So what I'm simply trying to say to you is that Botswana should look at this issue of elephants. There are elephants all over in Botswana. And the time has come for us to do something with those. So thank you very much.